Hey guys, we're back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about old severe weather outbreaks in today's video. We're going to be doing this every couple Wednesdays. We'll just do a little severe weather look back in the past. So we're going to be doing that in today's video. Look back at past severe weather outbreaks in today's video. But first off, we're going to start off with the biggest outbreak that so far I know of is April 27, 2011. We're going to be starting off with that, and then we're going to have another severe weather event we're going to look at. That wasn't actually too long ago. We're going to be talking about that one later on in the video. So let's get into today's video. First off, we're looking at Day 5 outlook. They got this all the way at Day 5 outlook of this area. Day 5, they've got this area highlighted as the 4-day severe weather outlook, like what we have today, but we have 15 to 30% chance. At this time, they didn't have that. Let's look at Day 4, and they had it for Day 4 here still. So now let's look at Day 3, and by Day 3, they had a slight risk of severe weather, and they didn't have enhanced or marginal risk, so there's only slight, moderate, and high. Right here, here's the legend. Thunderstorm, slight, moderate, and high were the ones there was no marginal or enhanced. So, here's what it would look like as Day 3 outlook. The 5% chance would have been marginal risk, and the 15% chance would have been the slight risk. 30% chance would have been the enhanced risk if there was an enhanced risk. Then the 45% chance would be the moderate risk, as you can see up here. We had a moderate risk for Day 3. And then we even had significant on here, significant severe weather here in this region as Day 3 outlook already. Let's look at Day 2 outlook. We have enhanced risk. I think it did go more into Mississippi by this update, and a little more north too, I think. I'm pretty sure. Here's what it looked like. We would have had a 45% chance here, and we would have had a big enhanced risk region going all the way up to New York, all the way down here. That's how big of an enhanced you would have had. And then we would have had a pretty big 45% chance or moderate risk here in this region with significant severe weather possible right in that area for Day 2. Let's look at the second Day 2 outlook, and this one's a very interesting one. As you can see, we had a very big moderate risk by Day 2. They did change this at Day 1, but it was kind of interesting to see this. Looking at the probabilistic outlook, it had a 5% chance, 15% chance, a big 30% chance, a big 45% chance going from Mississippi all the way up to Pennsylvania with significant severe weather here. It was very interesting to see that. And then we go to Day 1 outlook. They kind of changed that and moved a little more south, and some areas that were just in it actually just went into the general thunderstorms. But by Day 1 outlook, we had 2%, 5%, 30%, or 10%, 15% chance, and 30% chance of tornadoes was significant, meaning that was a high risk for Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee here. The damaging wind graphic here, we had a 45% chance of being damaging wind. And in the morning, I think that's when we saw the most damaging wind at. We saw quite a bit during the morning, and then we see large hail, 45% chance with zig, meaning significant damaging winds happened around this region. So, very interesting to see that here. Wow. Let's look at the next Day 1 outlook here. We had 30% chance of tornadoes still was significant. We saw had all the way to the 30% chance, 45% chance of damaging winds still, and then still a 45% chance of large hail here. And I think the moderate risk just shifted a little more into Mississippi. I think it was a little more in this part of Mississippi. Now they took it off by this update. Let's check out the next update here. I think this is the big update. They included a 45% chance of tornadoes. This is, I think, when they called it Torcon at 10 on the Weather Channel. 2%. They were all the way to 45% chance. We saw this year too, also, with one severe weather event. We saw a 45% chance of tornadoes. That's very rare to get. And then one that's the most rare is the 60% chance that I haven't even seen. And I don't think anyone really has seen the 60% chance of tornadoes. So it'll be scary to see when that day happens, but hopefully that never happens. But there was a 45% chance of tornadoes that day, and it was a pretty big day. So wow. And then there's quite a big 30% chance area too. So here's our damaging wind. We saw 45%. It's pretty big. 45% in damaging wind, and then large hail was 45% chance. We very rarely see a 60% chance of damaging wind or large hail. Let's check out the next day one. It goes this one. We continued to see the 45% chance of tornadoes. Was significant. We saw actually, I think the moderate risk go even more north again in this update into like Ohio and then West Virginia. We saw a very big area of damaging wind. You see there's a pretty big area, and then large hail is mainly to the south of that region. 45% chance was significant. Then this was the final update. This is like after part of the outbreak was over, kind of. We had a 30% chance still of tornadoes for Alabama. It's starting to head into Atlanta. We see some damaging wind, and then we see some large hail of 30% chance. That'd be enhanced risk was significant. So let's look at some. We're gonna skip over the mesocyclone discussions today but we will be looking at all the watches today. So let's look at the first watch that was issued. This was a little more, looks to the north. Let's look at the next watch here. This is, I think, from the day before's severe weather. It had some very strong winds, up to 70-mile-per-hour winds they could have had for these regions here. I'll show you radar in a little bit, what it looked like. Let's look at tornado watch 231. As you see, that damaging wind started to move into Alabama, so that's what they saw in the morning before the big outbreak later on in the day. And this is when the outbreak kind of started out as a PDS tornado watch until 7 p.m. All of them were high down here. Probabilities 95, more than 95, high, just 90% chance. Be F2 to F5 tornadoes, high damaging winds, high large hail. So yeah, quite a big event there. Let's look at now watch 233. As for this region here, gonna try to go a little quicker through this. Then we had a severe thunderstorm watch for these regions here. And then we had a new watch for Alabama's, the interesting one that we saw. Gusts up to 80-mile-per-hour winds, large hail to 4 inches in diameter. Probabilities, all more than 95. Every single probability. That was something rare you don't see, and we saw that I think with the last outbreak we had in March too. So quite interesting, to say for sure. 236. We see tornado watch for this region: Pennsylvania, West Virginia, New York. 237. There was that watch there for, looks like some of the area that wasn't severe thunderstorm watch changed to a tornado watch. Let's see what else is there. Then here was another PDS tornado watch with probabilities 90% chance of tornadoes, 80% chance of significant tornadoes. 239. We had another tornado watch. 2:40, we had another tornado watch. Um, let's see, what else did we see? Then we saw another PDS tornado watch, including Atlanta at this time because of the severe weather that was going on. A very big outbreak for Alabama. 8% chance of tornadoes, significant tornadoes with 70% chance. We saw a little lower of wind and hail, but tornado threat was the biggest threat at this time. So, yeah. They even said destructive tornadoes down here. 241. Let's go 242. Saw a tornado watch. We saw quite a few tornado watches. Then we saw another tornado watch, and they replaced some of the other watches, I think, with regular watches. By this time, let's see, regular watch. There was that tornado watch. Then they replaced this one with a just regular tornado watch here, as you see. And then severe thunderstorm watch. Another tornado watch for those regions. And then the final tornado watch that you can get up to here, right in that area. So yeah, quite an interesting outbreak that occurred. Here were the reports here. We had quite a few reports here. We saw quite a few tornado reports for this region. This was a big tornado day. We saw so many tornado reports. We saw a total of 292 tornado reports in just this day. Wind reports 438, hail reports 207, and total reports was 937. That's a big number. So yeah, and we saw some destructive tornadoes this day. So let's look at radar here. We're going to view radar for what happened in the morning. So let's start it out at 1 a.m. Now starting 2 a.m. See the tornado watch here as it moves into parts of Alabama. This was just a regular tornado watch. We still saw quite a few tornado warnings with this, even though this wasn't the main event. We saw there was quite a few tornado warnings. There was a big damaging wind event with that too. Very big damaging wind event. So we're heading 7 a.m. Then we start seeing another line of storms try to move in. Around morning time, another event, it looks like. This is the one that we saw. I don't know if we saw that event, that watch on there, but saw some tornado warnings. That the one that hit before this one here, actually, that one was actually leftovers from the day before's event, moving into that area, and then we see this event start to unfold in the morning. Severe thunderstorm warnings, a few tornado warnings actually with it, and this still wasn't the main event. And then we start seeing that PDS tornado watch go into effect here for those regions up over there in Mississippi, and we see quite a few tornado warnings that day. 2 p.m. we go into. Then we start seeing some storms in for Alabama. We see that PDS tornado watch just went into effect around this time for those regions, and we see quite a few tornado warnings for these regions up here. Quite a few. Look at that. That's quite a few tornado warnings. This was a big outbreak. Look at that. Like almost every storm had a tornado warning on it, and there were a few tornadoes that day. That I think there was one north of Birmingham that day. So yeah, 6 p.m. You see severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings. Quite a few. As we go into later that night, we saw the other PDS tornado watch go into effect. Go into 8 p.m. Starts moving more into Georgia. We still are seeing some tornado warnings for parts of Alabama that day. Go into 9 p.m. We still see just a few. We don't see as many, but we still see quite a few. By 10 p.m., it moves mostly into Georgia, it looks like. And by 11 p.m., there was a few severe thunderstorm warnings, but looks like most of Alabama is actually now out of it by this time. So yeah, that's as far as we're gonna look. There was still a few tornado warnings for Georgia, and it just continued to move southeast um, into I think North and South Carolina. So yeah, uh, but we were gonna view this event today, but I didn't expect how long this video would have been. 15 minutes so far, and it will probably be not 15 minutes, I mean a 30-minute video if I did this event. So we're gonna be doing this next video, the August 10th, 2020 derecho. We're gonna save this for next Wednesday's video of severe weather. We'll do next week's. We'll have another of severe weather past next Wednesday. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and see you guys in the next video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like for more of this kind of content.